Of the heaving masses that make up the citizenry of the Imperium, most live in desperate squalor, packed into mountainous hive cities where they toil endlessly in vast manufactorums. Generation upon generation live and die in a state of constant fear. Fear of invasion, fear of starvation, and fear of the retribution they will face if they dare to cast off the shackles of the Imperial Order. These wretched conditions are the perfect breeding ground for dissent and rebellion. And in the face of hopelessness, many are swayed by whispered stories that tell of chaos gods and the rewards bestowed upon their followers. Such unimaginable power is tantalizing to the powerless and set many on the path of damnation. These cults begin to grow deep within the fabric of imperial worlds. They are driven by the profane preachings of chaos-touched demagogues. Though many of these cults are found and eradicated by the Ordo Hereticus, the Watchers within the Imperium are not able to have eyes everywhere, and many more of these cults flourish. The cultists hide in plain sight, their drab clothes covering heretical tattoos and symbols that they have carved into their own flesh, all dedicated to the ruinous powers. Their numbers continue to swell with time until the cult has infected large portions of the planet's society, and a collective feeling of destiny gives these members purpose. They begin to gather weapons into secret caches, pilfering from planetary defense forces, and crafting makeshift implements from which they can hack and bludgeon. Some are even given visions which reveal methods of piercing together crude but effective guns. As their hour of reckoning approaches, the most faithful servants are marked with hideous mutations, and the wretches that behold these gifts offer up their souls willingly to the worship of the ruinous powers. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gershwan, and today we're going to be talking about the chaos cults found within the Imperium. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. What I try to do in these 40 Facts videos is create a 40 Facts video with a lore portion in the beginning, a hobby portion in the middle, and then a community portion at the end where I answer the questions that you guys have left off in the previous 40 Facts video. So if you guys have any questions or just if you guys would like me to react to something happening in the hobby, just comment down in the comment section below and we'll talk about it in the next 40 Facts video. But with that said, and if you guys enjoy these types of videos, obviously hit the like button, share with your friends, do all that cool stuff that YouTube asks you guys to do. But with all that said, let's get into 40 facts on the cults found within the Imperium. The first cult we're going to talk about are those dedicated to the Chaos Lord Tzeentch, the god of sorcery and intrigue. Surprisingly, there are few of these groups in the Imperium, as the benefits Tzeentch offers his followers are often less tangible and immediate than the mutations of the other Chaos gods. This is why many of these cults are created by heretical pilgrims who answer to one of the many Chaos warbands that come from the Thousand Sons Traitor Legion. These servants of the Tzeentchian-empowered demigods are tasked with appealing to those who value knowledge, specifically secret and forbidden knowledge. And of course, the individuals most likely to be tempted into the service of Tzeentch are Psykers, who already possess the secret and feared ability to tap into the limitless power of the warp and reshape reality. It is Tzeentch who offers Psykers the knowledge required to achieve unlimited heights of psychic ability through the practice of the powerful arcane psychic technique known to the Imperium of Man as sorcery. For many, the forbidden knowledge Tzeentch offers is too tempting to pass up, and before they know it, they have been ensnared within the Grand Schemer's tangled webs, and find themselves as just another unwitting pawn in one of Tzeentch's cults. Even non-Psykers can find themselves pawns in Tzeentch's endless games of intrigue, when they discover that if they make use of the heretical knowledge offered by the Chaos God at least just once, they can perhaps better their situation in life or that of their loved ones. The agents of Tzeentch know who best to target, as corrupting the imperial nobles and politicians with the promise of gaining an edge over their rivals usually draws them into the god's trap. Tzeentch offers these authority figures knowledge that could solidify or gain power over their peers, and once the ruler makes these cult members a part of their advisory council, the planet is on the verge of control. To the Tzeentchian cult, the lower classes do not pose a significant threat. In a society that is as difficult and repressive as that of the Imperium, it can be all too easy to give in to the blandishments of charismatic heretical preachers who promise salvation and prosperity if one will agree to follow a particular path towards enlightenment. It is in just this way that countless Tzeentchian cults begin across the galaxy. Many normally pious and good-hearted subjects of the Emperor, tired of the mindless, backbreaking labor and the elite disdain that dominates life on so many Imperial worlds, are easily swayed to join the various mysterious cults. These cults slowly draw these folks ever tighter into a web of Tzeentchian corruption until it's too late, and they discover that they have become the corrupted servants of chaos. And while Tzeentchian corruption is the least common form of chaos perversion found across the Imperium, it is also the most feared by the Inquisition, for its adherents are the most powerful of chaos servants and the best at concealing both themselves and their complex schemes from the Emperor's light. When their god is ready to harvest the world, he will send his elite force, the Thousand Suns Traitor Legion. As these Chaos Space Marines invade the planet, the Tzeentchian cult will unveil their complex network of corruption. None are spared from their twisted fury, as they carve great bloody swaths through the Hab blocks and Manufactorum districts. They chant blasphemies and paradoxical oaths as they rampage. Giant pyres are then lit in the name of Tzeentch, and by their burning light the cultists continue to mangle and mutilate those still loyal to the Imperium. Many cities, even whole worlds, fall quickly to the sudden influx of cultists, their defenses completely overrun by the seemingly unending flood of bodies. But those that somehow are able to stem the tides of violence face an even greater threat, as the thrall bands of the Thousand Suns begin to march. Infernal bolters fire and crackling beams of eldritch energy fly over the teeming throngs of cultists, while tanks and demon engines tear through the ferrocrete walls to allow the stampede of tainted humanity to continue. The sheer volume of cultists allow them to soak up a vast amount of return fire without losing momentum, and the sight of the Rubric Marines and the Sorcerers on the battlefield send them into a religious fervor, for these ornately armored Chaos Space Marines are like walking saints, come to bless the cultists for their loyal devotion. Whatever hope a cultist may derive from his profane worship and faith is inevitably false. They are but pawns in the plans of the Thousand Suns, meat to clog the wheels of the Imperial war machine. Should they live through this initial uprising, no great reward awaits them. Those who survive may be taken by the thrall bands to other war zones, where they will again be sent to die on the front lines. Others are transported to the planet of the Sorcerers, to serve as slaves or to be used as subjects in arcane experiments. Still more are simply overtaken by their own mutations and become gibbering chaos spawn. That is the horrible reality of these cults dedicated to Tzeentch. No amount of worship will save them from death. Only those blessed with sorcerous powers will have a chance to survive. Other extremely rare cults that are almost never detected by the Inquisition until it's too late are the Resurrectionist cults who seek everlasting life. It's extremely easy for them to exist in plain sight because their veneration for the Emperor of Mankind is grander than most, but their faith masks a heretical desire to be better than the Emperor. They see his triumph over death as the supreme conquest of human weakness and believe they can attain a similar godlike power. They explore truly heretical theories like recreating the ancient machine known as the Golden Throne that keeps the Emperor alive. Orchestrating various plots and schemes to get inside the Imperial Palace have all ended in failure, of course, but there are many within the Inquisition that believe more of these cults are quietly operating on Terra itself, learning from other failed attempts. Other Resurrectionist cults believe that the answer to the Golden Throne's secrets can be found within the forbidden archaeotech that share similar designs. This has led many of these cults to form alliances with the outcasts of the priesthood of Mars. Not only do they share in the desire to obtain forbidden technology, but they also achieve a means of prolonging life through bionics and gene enhancements common to the AdMech. These heretics use the cult for protection, while the cult enjoys a small taste of immortality. Unlike common chaos cults, there is no great uprising to take control of a planet or to take down a specific imperial agenda. Instead, resurrectionist cults prefer to quietly hide amongst the population, slowly and methodically exploring new ways to bring themselves closer to immortality. It is this slow and sometimes futile exploration that leads many resurrectionist cults towards the age-defying powers of the warp, and eventually worshipping the ruinous powers of chaos in exchange for a longer life. It is at this stage that the majority of the resurrectionist cults are detected, as members practice ritual revivification to indoctrinate new members and to display their godlike powers. The enthralled cultists fight tooth and nail to save these immortal demagogues, only to watch them burn like the heretic witches they are. And that's the lore on the cults found within the Imperium of Man. Now there's way more. We still have to talk about all the other Chaos gods, so Nurgle, Slanesh, Khorne, and then all the other non-Chaos related cults, Gene Stealers, and just like a bunch of other ones like the Sanguinary cults, the Blood cults, and all that kind of stuff. That's going to come in a part 2. There's probably going to be an entire series on this because it's just lore that's really, really like... Oh, there's a lot of this lore. Unfortunately, if I want to put all of that into one video, I probably won't be able to post the video until like the end of September or something like that. So I would much rather, put this out as a part 1, and there'll be a part 2. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And if you guys want like longer videos, which is what I'm trying to accommodate, I'm trying to create lore portions that are longer than like 10 minutes. Hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification icon. All the standard stuff that all YouTubers ask you guys to do, just because that tells us, like, yes, continue to post these types of videos with the longer lore portion. This stuff won't go away, so I'll still try to create, like, hobby portions and the Q&A portions, but we'll see how everything, like, works. I might even do, like, a separate channel just for terrain building, or hobby building, kind of like kit bashing and all that kind of stuff. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys, when you see the feed and you see a 40 facts video, like, are you excited about the fact that it's the lore or the actual like hobby portions? If you want both, maybe creating 2 channels and then just you subscribing to both would also work. For all those individuals who are just here for the lore, they just get the lore on this channel and then hobby portions in another video or another channel. We'll see what happens in the future though. What I do want to do right now is get into the questions that you guys left off in the previous 40 facts video. So this was the 40 facts and lore on the standard issue weapons of the major factions of Warhammer 40K. If you guys have any questions for me, comment down in the comment section below, or if you guys would like me to react to anything in the future. So if GW does some type of craziness again to like hurt content creators or hurt the community, we can talk about it. Just ask in the comment section below. So let's get into it. This question comes from Arc Mestizo. What first scene? Oh, that first scene takes me back to the good old days of Warhammer. I miss the original Dawn of War. Yes. So in the video, the 40 facts video that I just mentioned, after the intro, the first scene is from the first scene of Dawn of War. So it's like the Blood Ravens getting ready and fighting the orcs. And I remember being a child, like in middle school, or it might even be elementary school. But when that came out, I would think like this is like the tabletop come to life, and the game itself was so fun, so much fun. I remember getting off the bus on Fridays and just being like super happy that I have an entire weekend to build terrain, paint my minis, and play Dawn of War with my friends. Those were the good old days. And like nowadays, like you could probably do that on stream and stuff, but there was something different back then. Like it was a special moment because it wasn't so common to play like video games online and stuff like that. It was like it was the dawn of that era of like my friend's at his house and I'm at my house and we're still playing. It was fun. So we would call each other on the phone and be like, hey, get on at this time. And it was just a lot of fun. So yeah, it brings back memories for me too. The next question comes from Ashy Larry. One weapon I would like to see added in future list is the Harlequin's Kiss, a gruesome weapon in its description when it penetrates its target. Yes, the Harlequins was not part of the original 40 facts video that I posted, because the Harlequins I feel like on the tabletop are always secondary to the Eldar. They don't have that many models on the tabletop, and in the lore, they're always assisting another major faction. So I don't even feel like they are a major faction. But yeah. Next question comes from, let's see, Positive and Healthy. Great video with lots of helpful hints towards a healthier lifestyle. I love your no flannel approach, and I'm looking forward to your next video. Yeah, that's a scam or whatever it's called, like a just bullshit post, which is weird. I don't know why that has happened. It's happened in the past too, where we would get people commenting, like spam commenters, just saying like visit this site and all that kind of bullshit. We've also had individuals recently who like there's a lot of mass subscribers and then mass unsubscribers. So it'd be like 20, 50, and then boom, they all unsubscribe at once. So there's a couple of bad apples out there who are just trying to mess with the algorithm, I guess. But that's life. Next question comes from... This one is by Damned Legion. Special issued ammunition for the Death Watch bolters. Yeah, I could talk about that. The Death Watch are cool because they're a unique chapter. They're a conglomeration chapter of different chapters, and they fight Xenos. So what ends up happening is that Xeno technology usually seeps into the armories of the Death Watch. So it's cool, and I could talk about it. This next question comes from Trey Kenley. If you are talking about the standard issue weaponry, then you must discuss the standard issue armor, vehicles/tanks, spaceships, and maybe tactics. Who else is with me on this? You talk about the tools, so now let's talk about their usage. Yes, I agree. I want to do that for everything. So like standard issue armor, so like the t-shirt save of an orc compared to the power armor of Space Marine. And spaceships might be something that I probably won't get to for a while, just because that lore doesn't really appeal to me, like Battlefleet Gothic lore. Imperial Navy lore does, where you talk about the individuals who are part of the ship. That's cool. But when I'm actually talking about the ship of like, this ship is this size, this ship is... Like, I've done videos like that in the past, and they're not fun for me. But we'll get to the other stuff too, especially tactics. That would be fun. This next question or comment comes from Puppy SB. He says, Pregunta. Given that Eldar are far more psychic than humans, what would happen if you lock one in a room or a cell with a Sister of Silence? Gracias, compi. Well, it would be uncomfortable for the Eldar. Eldar are very powerful, though, and so like it would be like the power of the Psyker compared to the nullifying power of the Sister of Battle or Sister of Silence. That doesn't mean that the Sister of Silence can't die from an attack, a psychic attack, because there's still some type of force being placed on this sister. But we do a more in-depth answer to this in one of the greater WOGs. I think it's on Tuesday. But like, yes, the Sister of Silence would nullify the Eldar, but the Eldar can still attack. Not as powerful, but can still attack. Next question comes from... this one comes from Waichung Sham. Where do you keep the ammo for the bolters? I only see them carrying a bolter, but not a magazine. So it's actually like on pouches on their sides. Both the old Space Marine model and the new Primaris models, they have it. They have pouches on their waists. I normally don't attach that stuff to the old Space Marines. I think that it already comes with the design of the new Primaris stuff. But I would never attach it because it would just fall off. Because what would happen is, like, you would have basically a V shape for the waist of the Space Marine, and then you would glue the pouch, and you would either have to glue the pouch down on the bottom part of the V shape, but sometimes you wouldn't have enough space, so you would have to glue it like that. So it'd be a straight line on a V shape, so there's a gap in the middle, and when you're moving the models, it would just pop off. But yeah, that's how they carry around their ammo. They have pouches. Also servitors. There are ammo servitors that exist for the Black Templar line, I think. So now that we're getting new Black Templar codex, maybe we might get like new models for that. That'd be kind of cool. I've always wanted to have chapter surf models. That'd be cool. Maybe even throwing them into Blackstone Fortress. GW, if you're listening, create more models for Blackstone Fortress. They're excellent for like RPG games and stuff like that. But those are the questions for today. I don't want to keep you guys here for too long. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, longer lore portions are coming. Hit the like button, share with your friends, do everything that you need to do to tell YouTube you want more content like this so that they can then, help us. But thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
put my freedom first in any situation.